Hello, Peoria Heights. We're back with another breathlessly awaited episode of Tower Talk, and today we're jamming with Robbie Matheson. He co-owns Poor Brothers and Slow Hand Craft Barbecue over at Heritage Square. Robbie, what else do we need to know about you?
Oh boy, Peoria Heights is where I'm from. This is my home.
Heights native.
Heights native.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Went to school here. Grew up running the streets, Prospect Road, when Ben Franklin was around, and the Velvet Freeze, and fell in love with the community. Used to look at the old Pabst Blue Ribbon warehouse and ask myself, what is that place? I didn't know anything about it. So went to school, Kelly Avenue Grade School, and lo and behold, I now own a bar on the same site called Poor Brothers Tap Room.
Well, I guess that's right. I never really thought about that. You are on the same site.
Yeah, it feels great to be able to drink beer where I once played on the playground, and we've had some teachers walk in and people that went to school there, and we have pictures of this old school up. And,
sure.
It's kind of it's a fun way to be part of the history there. Really,
and you serve on the school board too, right?
Yeah, part of the school board. I have 3 young kids that go to school in the Heights, so I try to live it, breathe it, and do business every day in Peoria.
I don't know how you have the time, honestly. 3 kids and a business owner and everything. So
it's got its challenges. Without my wife, we'd be all sunk. So
yes, absolutely. Isn't that true for all of us? So.
Yes.
So what do we have to look forward to with your Courtyard concert series? Is this your biggest lineup ever?
I think so. This is the most balanced lineup we've ever had. Mm-hmm. One of the goals that we set out to do every year is have something for everybody. We change the music genre every single week. This year, the shows start on May 11th. Mm-hmm. We're bringing in a band called Breaking Southwest. Mm-hmm. They're from the Nashville area. They're doing great. They're a country rock band. Listening to their music, I was blown away. I felt like they're on the cusp of being a national band. Yeah. So we take pride in trying to find the folks that are on the cusp, and we try to get them in here where we can afford them. Yeah. We try to offer a free show, free show to the community, family friendly. We normally see 20 kids or so out dancing, and about 9:30 the parents usually pack them up as people start to consume a little bit more. But it's Breaking Southwest leads it off, and then we rotate into a lot of funk, a lot of rock, some blues bands. We just didn't want to be a one-trick pony with one style of music.
So how many live music acts are we talking about? I think I counted more than 25 bands, 26 bands, something like that.
Yeah. It seems to be growing at the dismay of my partner Nathan Monroe. He doesn't like when I add expenses, but too many good offers. So we're looking at probably about 25, 26 shows. Right. Maybe a 27 will pop up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you're going to have, again, starting on May 11th and going every weekend through October 26th, correct?
Yeah, we've got some rain dates scheduled. We want to make sure that if we do have a rain out, we try to give that band a chance to play on 2 of our rain dates. Okay. So we've got all the way until October 26th. A rain date or wiped out for possible music. Sure. Yeah.
And all of these bands play where? In the Courtyard right outside Poor Brothers, correct?
Yeah. We have a large, what we call the Courtyard at Heritage Square. Mm-hmm. And we set up the stage about halfway back, and they all play right there starting at 8 p.m. on Saturday nights. Mm-hmm. We have an occasional Friday show. Those are usually shows that the musicians are passing through town. They're not more national-based acts where we get them on a Friday night. Set up the stage and get our professional light and sound company, Custom Sound and Lighting, to come out. Great guys, and they do all the production, and we put on a party.
So when you book these bands, what are you looking for? What qualities are you looking for? You talked about trying to catch somebody on the rise, on the cusp of maybe really going big time. I mean, how do you determine that?
Sure. This year we kind of decided that fun was the number one thing. Mm-hmm. We've had some amazing singer-songwriters, but not everybody understands how to sit still and listen. Sure. So we this year, as we looked at more regional bands or national bands, we went with bands that had horns and keys and provided an atmosphere of just fun. Mm-hmm. We felt like that fit our customer base the best. Mm-hmm. So, and also we looked at other area venues outside of town. We look and see who people are hiring. We get a feel of what's working for others that charge tickets. Yeah. If it's working and they can charge tickets, we can definitely make a free show work.
Sure. Yeah. So what plays well in Central Illinois? Are there acts that you bring back every year?
Oh, better believe it. So, the couple that come to mind are Dexter O'Neill and Funkyard. Mm-hmm. They're putting on a funk show of 7 to 8 musicians. every year it grows, every year it's better. Those guys are amazing. The next one that comes to mind is Jam Sandwich.
Yeah, sure.
You know, they've been doing it for, I think, close to 30 years.
Yeah.
Those guys have been playing, and you would think that their brand would start to shrink at some point. It continues to grow every single year. You know, and guys like that, I think it grows because they do a lot of community outreach. St. Jude, Brian Carroll, those guys. And then the third band, Metamora native Joe Stam.
Oh yeah, sure. Joe's getting a lot of play now.
Joe's getting a ton of play. Every time I reach out to him, he's in Nashville. So I hope this isn't the last year for Joe, but he might become out of our reaches pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I saw quite a few local bands. Joe, obviously, Joe Stam, and the Brazilianaires, Jam Sandwich, all local bands that people are familiar with, which is pretty cool. So
yeah.
So where do some of the other artists come from? I mean, is it mostly Midwest or from all over the place?
Sure, I think our sweet spot is definitely the Midwest. But we've had bands in from California.
Okay.
We had a guy named Anderson East come here. Lives in the Nashville area, but kind of over 1 million listeners on Spotify now. So, but a couple bands this year. One that I really want people to know about is the Dirty Streets.
Okay.
And those guys are from Memphis.
Okay.
And they're on the way to stardom, I think.
What genre?
A genre. I would call them a 70s rock fusion.
Okay.
They kind of sound like a 70s band with a modern twist.
Yeah.
All younger musicians in their 20s. Got another band out of Chicago that's getting some national looks called Thompson Springs.
Okay.
Kind of an Americana rock. So look forward to them. And outside of that, I mean, we just kind of, I tell a lot of people, I laugh about it. We just throw darts at different management teams, and occasionally those darts land, and you know, everybody remembers the saying, well, if it plays in Peoria.
Sure.
Well, honestly, the saying is still true, because if they're passing through Peoria, we can get them.
Yeah.
They usually don't want a ton of money because they just want to play. And they want to play to a venue that wants them and is going to be excited and have a lot of people out.
So how do you become familiar with these bands? How do you hear their music? Just through Spotify and that sort of thing? I mean, is it word of mouth? How do you, how do you find out about them?
Yeah, I think we've got so many resources today. You know, you get on Spotify and you can hit anybody's name, and you know, even the local guys are getting on Spotify, which is amazing to see. You go to YouTube, we see them. So we usually watch them, we listen, and then we send out the message that says, hey, this is what we do, and this is how much we can pay, and it's a free show. And believe it or not, a lot of the management teams and musicians love our concept because it's very organic.
Sure.
You cannot let down a crowd that didn't pay anything.
No, that's right.
So,
that's right.
And they leave here playing in front of sometimes 800 people, which is a huge show for some of these guys that are selling 300 tickets on average or 400 tickets.
Well, I was going to ask you, what's the biggest crowd you've ever had, and who was it for?
Oh boy, I could probably write a book about this day. It was our opening day. We somehow had the guts to hire Anderson East. So there's a 38-page contract that we had to follow, which we'd never done before. We looked out of our windows at 3 o'clock before we opened. There was about 500 people in the Courtyard, and we looked at each other and said, what the heck did we do? That crowd swelled to over 2,000 people on June 9th, 2016. We had never poured a beer. We had never used the pour wall, and somehow we had this national band there. We had no clue what we were doing, but we gathered ourselves and we made it through it, and that day showed us that this Courtyard music in Peoria Heights was going to be something big.
Yeah. So who's traveling the farthest in this lineup?
Let me think here. I would say probably the Dirty Streets from Memphis. That's going to be the farthest one this year.
Okay. So how do your musical tastes run? Do you play an instrument yourself, or?
Yeah, you know, I never had the luxury of learning. I was always playing sports, and I was too cool to play music. Now looking back, I would have been a lot cooler playing music. You know, it's one thing I wish I could have done, but not being able to do it now, I love music. So my tastes are kind of all over the board, but I definitely gear towards more of an Americana folk sound. I love a storyteller.
Scott Collins here.
Yep.
So how long have you been at this? I mean, as a promoter, how do you go about making the contacts you have?
Sure. This is our 4th season, so we've been doing this since 2016, but this will be the 4th season. And in terms of contacts, you know, I think when you just send these management teams a nice email showing them that you're not out to take advantage of anybody, they respond with "Let's talk." And now, you know, Poor Brothers and the Courtyard Concert Series in Peoria Heights has a really positive name. So now they actually reach out to us.
And you spend a lot of time in the winter, I guess, working the phones and.
Yeah. We start designing the lineup right January 1st.
Okay.
That's when we start kicking it off, and then we finish it up about 2 weeks before we announce it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So now you're involved with another exciting new venue in the Betty Jane Boomers Center for the Performing Arts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to be happening there?
Yeah, so that's still a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We think it'll open in a few months.
This summer, yeah,
this
late
summer.
summer.
Yep, this summer. They're doing a complete build out on the interior to make it more of an event space.
Mm-hmm.
I can promise you that the inside's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mid-century modern design. I've even heard that there might be some glass walls that are going to be able to roll out of the way so we can bring the outside in
Yeah.
and have some dual purpose events outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to see those.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of style or music or anything, I mean, we're gonna go after folks that can sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
The tickets will be affordable.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to try to hurt people.
Right.
We're also going to try to do a lot for kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about some events on Tuesdays directed towards kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's kind of a work in progress, so don't hold me to that.
Mm-hmm.
But kids are very important. The visual arts are very important.
Mm-hmm.
The audio arts are very important. Music. Just anybody and everybody that wants to showcase what they do in Central Illinois are going to be invited in. We plan on doing some entrepreneurial type of events, some Peoria Heights based TED Talks, kind of similar to what we're doing today.
Yeah.
It's an open canvas, create your own, owned by Kim Blickenstaff and managed in part by the KDB Group. They're doing some really unique, awesome things in Peoria Heights that aren't just 100% financially focused.
Sure.
So
it will differ from what you're doing at Poor Brothers, certainly in the sense that you'll be selling tickets, or that the concerts won't be free.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, in order to, we don't have a lot to sell at the Betty Jane.
Yeah.
It's kind of an open canvas. So there will be, alcoholic beverages, and we're kicking around the idea of some coffee at some events. So if you don't want booze, you can have a coffee or a soda, of course. But I think what you'll find is the level of quality musician you would find in St. Louis playing, the Pageant or a large theater, and they're passing through town, and we should have capacity for about 300 in there.
Sure.
So you're looking at ticket prices ranging from $5 up to maybe $35, but that's very very affordable. It's in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And our hope is to maybe see some of those folks play, a free show at Poor Brothers 1 year, and then maybe come back for a ticketed show.
Sure. So do you see bands? Playing simultaneously, in terms of as you do these two things, one at Poor Brothers and one at the Betty Jane. I mean, do you see sort of bands every other night? Do you see them playing simultaneously? I mean, I guess I'm asking whether you see the two venues competing or complementing one another.
Sure. Well, as most of you know, in the Heights, we have a perceived parking problem. I can't say that's 100% true because I've seen people walk 8 blocks to come to Poor Brothers shows. It is a little inconvenience, but I think people are going to get used to it. Yeah. With that said, I think it's important that we focus on Friday nights at the Betty Jane and Saturday nights at Poor Brothers.
Okay.
And, maybe some Thursdays in there too.
Yeah. So is the Heights sort of on the music map now? I mean, it's sort of like the Restaurant Row here. Is its reputation growing as an entertainment destination, do you think?
I think so. I think, we've been able to see other places pop up recently, like the 12 Bar above Edge. W. Sullivan's always has good acts inside. What else? You've got Oliver's. They're doing an entire music series. Yeah. I mean, I think at some point you're going to be able to look Monday through Sunday and see live music in Peoria Heights. And I think musicians notice that, and I think they talk, and I think in the next couple of years, Peoria Heights, who knows? I mean, we're not going to call it Nashville, but I think we're on for a smaller community. I think we're going to have that same clout for musicians.
Right. So how many people do you expect to bring to the Heights this summer? Through the bands? Thousands and thousands, I imagine.
I hope so. Yeah. If not, we're in trouble because we got thousands out.
Right.
Long story short, though, I think, based on last year's performance, we estimated about 30,000 people showed up.
Okay.
I think this year with a more balanced lineup and a lineup of fun, I'm thinking 40,000.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 40,000 people.
I guess my point is there's a real economic development component here because, the folks are buying refreshments, they're buying meals, they're, they're spending some time here in the Heights besides just going to the concert, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes dollars and cents, and so in a lot of ways.
I think it's important too, Mike, that, people have this perceived parking problem and it can be challenging, but people have to park and walk. And walking past these restaurants and these bars and these boutiques is what drives the market.
Yeah.
You stop in, you get a soda, you get a beer, you say hi to local, restaurant owners. So I think that, like you said, they come up for dinner, they come down for the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a beautiful balance.
Yeah, yeah. So look for Robbie's posters in and around the Peoria Heights. The one's really cool. It's really vintage. I wish we had one to show you today, but it's really cool. Did a beautiful job with it. Looks like a collectible. But anyway, that's all for now, folks. We're really looking forward to another summer of fun here in Peoria Heights. I promised Robbie I would sing, but I decided I would spare you at the last minute. So, good to see you. So long. Until next time, keep playing.
Thank you.